I think over the last 3 years, with the experience of the Connected Action for the Commons, meeting with each other, with the hubs, and working collectively, it's been an enormous learning, also participating in the 2 previous idea camps. And for us, bringing it here to Madrid was, in a way, the termination of a circle, but the great opportunity of extracting all that knowledge from the past and bringing it to this last kind of wrap-up edition. And it's been an enormous privilege, but also, yeah, like the termination of a work with these organizations in this collective, yeah. I think the Connected Action for the Commons across these 3 years has been doing a great work in advocacy, working among us, but also meeting institutions at a very wide different levels, in local context, national context, in European context. And an example would be that the work we've been done during the last few months, organizing the City Innovative Development Meeting. It's quite important because it's bringing here to Spain initiatives from across Europe, from municipalities and officers in charge of public policies in municipalities across Europe, to come and share tools, share experiences, share their challenges as well here in Spain, with municipalities from Spain at the same time. So it's kind of a cross-layer collaboration. I'm very proud that the Connected Action for the Commons has been able to work with us in these, yes. The government of the city of Madrid is taking great action nowadays to distribute their policies on culture across the whole city. Previously, and for many, many years, the cultural policies in the city of Madrid have only taken into account the central district and the big museums, as if that were only the cultural aspects of the cities. But in fact, there are 21 districts in this capital. And what happens in these districts, in these neighborhoods, it's what's also important to culture. They're trying to reach to these with innovative policies, and taking the risk to also co-producing the idea camp, it's also adding an extra layer to this. We wanted to include and welcome collectives from grassroots movements for cultural fabric, local fabric from Madrid, to the idea camp in the program. As for example, this collective called La Liminal, they are walking us through the neighborhood, across the neighborhood. We're in Pacifico, and not even the people from Madrid know much about the history of this neighborhood. So we felt it was important to connect to here. Also, some other people that research on public markets and their history, their heritage. They're helping us as well with this idea camp program. And I feel it's important to connect the roots of the local context also with the ideas that come across many, many different countries. So Cocinar Madrid, they are a collective of 3 women. One is a cultural producer, another is a cook and an artist, and the third one is an anthropologist. And they started seeing that many of the public markets in Madrid, where people used to go shopping their groceries, were mostly empty, and they wanted to know what happened there across the years. Of course, many supermarkets and international brands came in and were displacing these markets. So they started researching what was going on there. What they proposed is bringing a kitchen to the market, buy elements over there, and cook together with the community over there. And by cooking together, sharing knowledge, sharing experiences, sharing what everyone brings within themselves, and through that kind of tracing the history of the markets. And we felt it was relevant to bring cooking together into the idea camp, because all these people coming up from 26 different countries, they all bring their own ingredients with them, right? And they are ingredients that migrate with us as well. So it was interesting to bring it over.
So at Idea Camp, we're using a methodology called the Moving Communities Methodology, which is the theme of this year. It's a methodology that wants to bring the ideas from ideas to projects. So it's a circular journey that all the projects will go through. And we have ideated this methodology building on on the previous editions, obviously improving and reiterating. And we have looked very closely at all the 50 idea makers and what the needs of the ideas were. And we have identified gaps and opportunities. So that means that we are looking at 3 main areas. That is the who of their work. So is who are their communities, who are they in those communities, and who are the networks that they need and work with. The how, so that means the partnerships, the organizations they work with, and how to go about that collaboration. And also the why, what are the values, what is the mission, what is the vision that that project has, and how you, the storytelling of it, how you tell to your different audiences about this. So it's a circular journey that all the people will go through in a different order. And it's a methodology that has built on the previous editions, but also on Platoniq's in-house expertise in developing digital tools, but also co-creation methodologies. We're starting from the What If I methodology that is open source, share alike by attribution methodology. So everything that will be produced here will be replicable, obviously respecting the license, which is just you can reproduce it anywhere, anytime, just by attribution. They can be iterated and improved. For example, the first version of the methodology, which we entered this edition with, has been now improved to a second and third version, thanks to the contributions and insights from idea makers, idea feeders, facilitators. So hopefully by the end of this, we will have the most fantastic methodology that can be used by everybody.